Hello all out there in YouTube land, this is Dualranger coming to you from a decidedly brighter arena actually. And one of the things I wanted to cover was my opinions, and this is really a work of opinion, of why these weird beliefs and belief structures are prevalent in society today. And this video is basically been inspired by watching one of my favourite documentaries, which is Richard Dawkins' The Enemies of Reason, which was on BBC, I believe BBC or ITV or one of our terrestrial channels in the UK. And Richard Dawkins ends with something that kind of really hits home, and gives me a feeling of why we are living in this world now prevalent with more superstition. And he's going through the whole idea of things like homeopathy, acupuncture, crystal medicine, and all the alternative medicines, which I believe Richard Dawkins rightly categorizes as most of the medicines that haven't been through the peer review system, or even haven't subjected themselves to real controlled blind testing. So really, as he categorizes, most of them come under the effect of the placebo. And he says this really, for me, kind of really sums it up. And hopefully I'll be able to slot in a video right after this, which sums it all up.
In medicine, ancient also means developed before we understood the causes of disease, before germ theory. It was based on ignorance then, and age makes it no truer. We misguidedly look back to a golden age that never was. Ours is the golden age of safe, tested medicine, effective beyond placebo, in which we've cut infant mortality and conquered diseases, then forgotten they existed. Let's hear it for Western scientific medicine. In the 20th and 21st centuries, we've all but eliminated terrible diseases like polio, completely eradicated smallpox by a worldwide program of vaccination. Antibiotics, well, I wouldn't be here but for antibiotics, and I guess there's a good chance that you wouldn't be either. Blood transfusions, magnificent surgery, all these things are given to us by scientific principles, scientifically trained doctors. All the methods are properly tested and retested. None of that could be said for so-called alternatives. The indulgence of superstitious alternative remedies implicitly casts doubt on scientific advance and undermines confidence in real medical progress. Yet, as we've seen, the attack on medicine is just one small part of the creeping rise of irrational superstition. In Ayurveda or clairvoyance, homeopathy or astrology, we're confronted by those who deny evidence of the real world and instead bend reality around a dogmatic belief system.
So guys, as Richard Dawkins says, far more eloquently than I could ever do, you know, science has given us so many things. Now there is the option. I mean, there is the option now to go and get acupuncture because you know your cold remedy. I mean, I've got a cold at the moment. I know my cold remedy is going to do what it says on the tin. It's going to deal with the symptoms. I have a headache, you have paracetamol. You know it's going to, it's going to at least alleviate some of the pain. It's a painkiller. It does what it says on the tin. And we live in that world of luxuries, and I presume everyone on YouTube lives in that world of luxuries. I mean, the luxury of computing, the fact you press a button and all of a sudden your information is stored and put up, and we live in that, and it gives us that freedom to look into these other remedies, and it's amazing that in the third world, where a lot of these things come from, where they have these beliefs, that they're fighting for Western medicine, they're fighting for Western remedies. I'm always quite surprised at how few people, for example, when they get hit by a car, don't go to a hospital. Don't seek real, peer-reviewed, studied they seek these things out. They don't just either pray or put healing crystals over them. They actually go and see proven medicine and then go and do the other things once the proven medicine is doing its work, and then thank whatever their mystic crystals or whatever for helping and healing them after they've seen real medicine. So it's just something I wanted to put out there for you guys, just another thought. Plus there was something else I wanted to add, and I definitely, as I see, I've got a cold, so excuse my sniffing. I want to definitely thank Starfed Rogue for putting me on this, especially now there is no more PCS. One of the things I want to say to the community out there is PCS was a really easy target. He put himself out there, but he shows you what the power of YouTube, that some kid, I call him a kid because I'm going off of what I perceived as his mental age. I'm not an expert, but what I perceived as his mental age, so I say kid in Canada, one kid in Canada could do, and the rallying effect. But just because that kid in Canada's gone doesn't mean we should stop doing videos. There seems to be this calm before the storm, and these movements always find another head. So guys, keep doing your videos, keep check the news, check anything, just keep putting those videos out there, keep putting out real information, or at least views with real information. The point of freedom of choice is choose from at least things that have been studied, have been peer reviewed, and are accurate. So if we stop now and say, oh wow, PCS is gone, no more Venifying X, woohoo, we're negating the whole point. The point wasn't to go after Venifying X. The point was to go after bad ideas and bad science and contest bad ideas. And I think that was the major point. Yes, he did some really abhorrent things, bad things. But the point was to go after the bad ideas and confront them. And the bad ideas are still out there, guys. So, come on. Especially people, not necessarily the big guys, they will always produce good videos. But come on, small guys, I really enjoy some of the work out there. So, come on guys, keep doing those videos. Well, I'll leave the last words to someone far more eloquent than me, and this is yes, Richard Dawkins. Thank you for listening again, and I'll leave the last word to him.
Skeptical, rational inquiry is always the best approach. We don't have to follow the herd and buy into trendy, untested health fads. We don't have to be swayed this way and that by media-driven health scares. Instead, we can think independently and be truly open-minded. That means asking questions, being open to real corroborated evidence. Reason has liberated us from superstition and given us centuries of progress. We abandon it at our peril.